So from Krypton to Krapton, we go to Smallville. This is season 2, episode 2. It's called Heat. This is the one where Clark gets heat vision.
It's an infamous episode.
Maybe this is because, like, the first time I saw this episode, I was probably like 14, something like that. But watching it again now for the first time since I was that age, I will tell you the first big thought I had in this episode after a couple of the introductory scenes, which we maybe or maybe not, we'll not talk about depending on how we feel, is when they go to class and it's like, oh, I heard from my dad that, Mrs. whatever her face is, like, always does this boring sex ed class. And then in walks this, this character for the episode, Lexi's fiance, it turns out to be this younger actress who's obviously all the boys are all like, oh, God, this heat wave and this sexy teacher, however we do this. My first thought when she walked in the room is like, no way, no teacher ever would wear a skirt that short. I am calling bullshit on this Smallville CW nonsense.
Normally I would agree, but isn't that kind of the whole point, is that she's manipulated everyone intentionally?
But at the very least, like, you don't want to attract the attention of everyone you're not manipulating, right? You don't want to attract the attention of all the girls in the class.
I think she gets off on the attention.
It's scandalous. Maybe that's just because I'm getting old, but that was the first thought I had when she walked. I was like, this is no.
No, you're not wrong, but I think, I can't believe I'm defending this episode. I think, at least in context of this character and what she's doing, it kind of makes sense.
To put it in perspective, this looked less like a dress and more like a top that was supposed to also have like pants with it.
Sure, yeah.
Because it was so high up. Like, I'm pretty sure teachers, at least from my memory, never wore a skirt that was like higher than knee length. Never mind. And there's a lot of variance between knee length and what she's wearing. This is like right up. This is like, do you want to see my underwear, boys? Like this is
pretty much. Yeah, it's
scandalous.
You're becoming an old man.
I know, but scandalous.
Yeah, you hit 30 and everything's suddenly disgraceful.
Look, maybe if she was a better actress, I might, have something to say. Maybe if she wasn't just being like a crappy Poison Ivy, I might have something to say. Maybe if this episode wasn't so clearly aping on an episode of the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer called Teacher's Pet.
I said this last week and you were like, nah, you don't remember it. I went, it is clearly aping on better episodes of Buffy, and you went, nah, I'm not sure it is. And I told you, you will come back after watching it and you will agree with me, and here we are.
I'd forgotten the whole teacher angle though.
Well, clearly I hadn't. This screw you.
To the point where she even tries to seduce Clark at one point by coming over to the bar as if that's normal.
Yeah.
She does suggest.
To be fair, at least he reacts like, "Hey, this is weird as shit."
Yes, as does Martha. Martha's, I'm going to phone and get her suspended. She's not allowed to hit on teenage boys. How dare she? She's an angry mother. Understandably. Imagine having that conversation with your parents. I mean, hell, actually, even the heat vision, he has to kind of admit that, yeah, it was just sex ed class, and then Jonathan's like,
and they're like, oh
this
boy,
might be tied to hormones, son. The one beat I'll give this episode is when they've got the scarecrow up and it's like, oh, let's practice, and Jonathan standing next to him. He's like, Dad, this might be easier if I'm on my own. And he's like, yep, I understand. I'll go over there.
Yeah. Honestly, I think everything with them dealing with this is kind of pretty good. Just because it's the awkward parent reactions, and those two are good enough actors to sell it.
Yeah. They treat heat vision in this episode like a dangerous erection. That is how they treat this.
Yeah.
It's like parents having to explain what an erection is to their kid. Except he's older than he would be for that, but like it works because of it's heat vision. I think what frustrates me about this episode, and I know that she has
just the one thing.
Well, multiple things, but I know that she has the poison ivy powers, right? And I know that explains why she can do what she does, specifically to Lex, and why Lex is so like pro her and like angry at everyone else as soon as they question her. The problem is that I feel like I've seen Lex get close to this kind of attitude with someone he's dating and not believe someone when they say, hey, she might be trying to just like screw you. He did it with his father last season. I'm sure it happens again later on in the show.
Probably,
I've seen Lex be this way with a character. Maybe not quite as love spelled as this one was, but close enough that this just felt like, okay, yeah, like
No, I'm with
Typical
you.
ex. Typical ex. He's getting married. Well, what? Okay, I guess that's happening.
Yeah, no one really questions it that much.
Not enough.
They're all like, "Well, this is kind of quick, but I mean, if you say so, Lex."
We literally met her as a school teacher before we found out you were even engaged or met anyone. Like that is the sequence of events. Lana is trying to make a video for Whitney. We're still talking about Whitney.
Oh, God's sake, I know.
At least this is her breaking off with Whitney eventually. So she gets Clark and Chloe and everyone to do like a little,
Pete does a video. It might be the only thing Pete does in this episode. But he does do a little video.
Yes.
I'm genuinely trying to remember if Pete was in any other scenes.
He was in the classroom scene because he was also staring at
okay, sure.
teacher lady. I'll just call her Miss French because that was the praying mantis's name on Buffy. Notice how I remember that like guest character's name, and I can't remember the character in this episode
I
that I watched yesterday.
First name because she kept going like, "Call me Desiree."
Oh, sure.
That's cool. So I remember that, and it was a distinctive enough name.
It may have been Dawn French, actually, the first name of Miss French. I'm doubting it because there's a character obviously later on called Dawn, but I think it was Dawn French. I think it was Dawn French. But that's not even that good an episode of Buffy, and it's much better than this.
Yeah, it is.
It's much better than this. So yeah, she's doing this video, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to break up," and Chloe even admits to Lana that Clark has feelings for her. He cares more about you than me. He always will. And she lies about some boyfriend she had for the summer.
Yeah. You were wrong, sorry, by the way. It was Natalie French.
Natalie French, oh well.
I thought that would be more interesting than Smallville.
Yeah, no, it is. Where am I getting Dawn French from? Is there Dawn French in existence?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. That's a person, right?
Dawn French?
Sure it is.
And this is where Carter...
Vickery Dibley.
Ah!
Yeah, it's her.
There you go. She's on another TV show. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
She's the actress and comedian and writer and stuff.
Yeah, I was a little worried you were going to search that and it was just going to come up with lots of porn. I was a little concerned that it was just going to do that. I was like, this isn't a porn star. I don't think it is. Where was I? Oh yeah, stupid video. So Lana basically tells Whitney that they shouldn't have a long distance relationship, which seems really cold to do over a video. And I realise that Skype's not a thing yet in 2002, but it feels really cold for him to get like a video that he's all excited and it's building up to Lana at the end, and then she's like, "Yeah, I think we're going to move on."
Here's the thing though: is that better or worse than a letter? Because I mean, those are kind of the two options.
I think it's worse.
Do you?
I think a letter is like more dignified in just the way that we all had to communicate for a long time. Not us personally, but like people
as a species.
As a species. I mean, phone calls do exist. I think a phone call would probably be the best option.
To be fair, he's off in service in a different country.
Yeah, but
right?
he does get a chance. He's at base every once in a while to phone home. Like that's a thing that happens.
Sure, but it might be not that often, which is why they're communicating this way. So
sure, but anyway, I think a letter's a bit more dignified. And as much as I think, obviously, people are maybe thinking right now, but like, does that mean it's okay to text a breakup? It's like, well, no, because texting and writing a letter that you've put thought into, and make a whole, like a letter is more a piece of writing that you really put thought into. A text is so impersonal. I think if you can't do it face to face and you have to, it's long distance, and I mean, I think now you do Skype or whatever, you do a video call because you do it as close as you can to face because it's a live conversation, so you can still have the same intimacy for the most part. I think a letter's better. A letter to me feels more thoughtful. I feel like a clip at the end of a thing, as much as she still might have put a lot of thought into it, and I'm not denying that you can't put a lot of thought into like a video like message, I feel like coming after all these other messages of all the other people that don't mean that much to him is
that's
kind of
the only shitty part, because I think a breakup letter feels kind of cold. right? Because it's like there's only one point to this.
Mm.
Whereas at least on this little video clip, it felt genuine enough.
Sure, she
as much as she can portray as an actress.
As much as Kristin Kreuk can portray as Lana Lang, yes. But no, I mean, yes, on a video show you can emote, you can smile in the right places, you can look serious in the right places, you can have a tear that maybe tells the other person this is hard and it's not like something that they're finding easy. Sure, there's benefits. I'm not saying there's not. But I don't know, I just the thought of getting a video and being happy to see their face and then it just like I don't know.
I get that. do you know what the best part of this ending the episode is?
Mm-hmm.
Is it means we get this instead of a stupid cheesy pop song at the end.
That's true. There was a cheesy pop song before this, though. In fact,
there was, but it's not like playing into the outro like some of them do. Those are the worst ones.
Wasn't there more Sum 41 at the start of the episode? I think there was.
I'm pretty sure there was. There was definitely. Well, was it Sum 41? It was definitely some sort of pop.
It sounded like Sum 41 from my memory, but I mean, it's been a long time. You're
probably right. It's but it did sound like it might have been Sum 41. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check. But I vaguely remember hearing it in the background.
I love how there's no mention in this episode that
just went on TuneFind to see, the song. Such a show. Smallville as a whole, 925 songs. It's a shitload.
That's almost 100 per season.
Yeah, Newfound Glory.
Oh, Newfound Glory.
Yeah, 141.
It's been a long time, all right.
Yeah.
Been a long time. So yeah, teacher hypnotizes John. He goes to talk to her about all the accusations, and she's all topless, and he's insisting she put some clothes on because he's a gentleman.
He's a civilized man.
Yes. And then she uses her poison ivy dust on him, and he's all, "I'll shoot Lex Luthor for you."
I don't think it takes much convincing to get Jonathan with a shotgun after Lex.
Joe is so weird about because one of the things that the new power episodes always do is that they have to have a moment towards the end where Clark uses his new power to save the day, right?
Oh, this one was the worst though.
This one's so weird because like you think of Superman, you think of catching bullets. Now, admittedly,
Clark has done that multiple times already.
Has he done it in season 1? I don't remember if he has done.
I'm pretty sure he did because I remember him definitely. He
got hit in the back. I remember getting hit back with a machine gun.
Yeah, I'm sure he did because that was only like halfway through the season. I'm sure he got some bullets after
that. So it's really weird because it's like you could have just done the easier thing and catch it,
but instead he has to melt the bullet.
I guess the argument is that because Lex is standing there, that if he could speed back to where he started. Obviously, he doesn't have to stay there holding it. But like, I guess the argument is that if he just melts the bullet, then it'll look less suspicious, even though they might see the heat.
The molten puddle of metal on the floor later.
Yeah. I was actually surprised it didn't like scarf Lex's face, like it just still hit his face and it's just like burning him. He's like, he's like Two-Face all of a sudden. He's like, no.
Yeah, it seemed as it melted, it just lost all its momentum and fell.
Because that's how physics works.
I mean, it might do in this case.
Well, my question is though, his heat vision doesn't move at super speed like he does. I mean, his heat beams just move at the speed the heat beams move at.
To be fair, I think this is a weird portrayal in this show because they don't actually show. There's no like red beam, right?
No, they do like a heat shimmer thing where it's like just wavy.
They do, but but Clark never sees that. I don't think we're seeing that as an effect. To Clark, the way he describes it is he looks at a spot and then it bursts into flames. It feels to him relatively instantaneous.
Okay. I'll accept. It's still a stupid scene.
No, it is. Yeah, I'm not defending that. Just the core mechanic there.
Even if he hadn't done that yet, it's still frustrating as a viewer because if you know Superman, it's like this is something he's obviously going to be able to do all the time in the not too distant future. So it's weird to use heat vision to solve this moment. Like a much better one. There's like one in season like 4 or 5 where he uses his heat because there's like a dam burst and he like basically steams all the water with his heat vision. And like,
yeah, that makes sense.
That's much better. That's a good use of his heat vision.
Yeah,
but
that's a solid usage.
Yeah, maybe Mr. Freeze will shot from Batman and Robin. He'll have to thaw some people out. He's like, rah, rah.
I'm sure we'll get our own million versions of a cold villain.
Oh yeah, we've already had one at least.
This is a DC show after all.
Yeah, we did have one already. We had High School Cold Man.
We did. We did. It's a shame there's no Cold Snap on this show.
Do you know what? That would be a funny challenge actually. See when we get even just right now, if we just look at season 1's titles, if I could say a title and then you could actually tell me what the villain was in that episode.
Oh, should we look at some of them?
Hold on. I'm going to go back to season 1 here. We're done talking about this episode, clearly. There's nothing else to talk about. So I'm going to just give you Stray. What was the plot of Stray?
Stray. Oh, was that the telekinetic kid?
Yes, there you go. There, you got one. Yeah. You got one. All right, Han. Got another one. Okay. Kinetic.
Tattoos.
Oh, you're doing not bad, actually. Doing not bad. All right. That one's too easy. Jitters. What's jitters?
That's the
not just
shaky guy from the farmhand.
You're right, but not just a coffee shop in Central City.
No.
All right, okay. All right, here's what I propose. When we eventually finish this show, we're going to do this for all 10 seasons and see how many
Here's the thing. Can we guess any of them from this season coming up based on the title?
Oh, I mean, I could have got Heat.
Yeah. But how many can we get?
No. Red, I can give you an idea of red.
I'm pretty sure I know that's a red kryptonite one.
I'm literally just looking through the rest of the titles of season 2 and see if the S stick out to me. And none of them are. I know one will, Rosetta will, because that's the one with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, Nocturne sticking out to me. I think that's the not werewolf one, but it's the kid in the basement who's been like locked up by his parents. He has like powers at night, I think.
I want to point this out. The season finale of season 2 has a 9.2 average rating on IMDb.
Piss off.
I want to see if we agree with that when we get there. I've got a funny feeling.
I'm on the top. Ryan, that's the stray kid. So
yes.
He's back.
Oh, is he back? He comes back.
Yeah, well, season 2, episode 8 is called Ryan. So.
Oh, there you go.
What else we got? Skinwalk that I actually remember because that introduces the Native American stuff, which is a thing for the next couple of seasons.
I feel like this may not have aged well.
Possibly not. But that introduces, the cave and all of that stuff, I'm pretty sure, which does run till, I think, the end of season 4.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I do remember an episode in season 4 where after Lois shows up, there's an episode where Lois, Lana, and Chloe are all like possessed by witches. I remember them all walking in unison, dressed all in black.
Oh, yes, I remember loving that episode for how bad it was, even at the time.
Oh,